So I have some clips that I want to play for you. Kim Kardashian recently did an interview on this podcast called Call Her Daddy. On this podcast, the interviewer asked a series of different questions, and I think she handled the questions very well. I want to say before I play the first clip, I want you to be patient with how Kim Kardashian answered the questions, right? She's taking her time, and as I'm looking at the video, she's definitely being wise regards of how she answered the question, because that is her ex-husband, that is her kid's dad. Her kids is on the internet, right? So she's not trying to slander him because of the kids. And in general, Kanye West definitely took her career off, and she had publicly made that known that she respects that and she will always give him credit for that. So you could tell she's trying to be respectful and answer the question truthful, but also being mindful at the same time. So let's play this clip.
I think something obviously you said, which is so relatable, is like it's almost sometimes easier to stay than to leave. Mm-hmm. What was it for you that was the final straw that actually got you to be like...
I don't know if it was like, you know, there was just a lot of things that I wouldn't deal with, you know, like... I didn't like the feeling of like, you know, someone being like maybe talking bad about, you know, my kids' grandmother, aunts, like all of those feelings. If someone feels that way, then, you know, we shouldn't be together. You know, maybe airing out a lot of stuff. A lot of personal stuff, just not feeling safe, you know, not even physically, just like maybe emotionally or even, you know, financially, because you have, you know, big ideas that financial things when it's like a thing where I would like come home and we had like 5 Lamborghinis and I'd come home and they'd all be gone. You know, if he was in an episode, and I'd be like, oh wait, where's all our cars? Like my new car. And it would be like, oh, he gave them away to all of his friends. And then I'd be like, huh, okay. And then I'd come home again, and at a different point we had, you know, 5 more Lamborghinis, and then I'd wake up in another episode and they'd all be gone again. And that time I was like, keep them, guys. You know, like I don't know what to say, but like I never felt like I didn't know, you know, what you're going to get when you wake up, and that's like a really unsettling feeling.
Okay, so that was interesting. I think when it comes to Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, now hear what I'm about to say, y'all. I really want y'all to listen to this. A lot of the time, we went through this period where as though we saw Kanye express himself publicly about the family, whether it was salacious or not, his opinion on how they raising his kid, how things played out, right? He made that known on social media publicly, right? We also watched Kanye West change, right? From the old Kanye to, I don't even know who this person is anymore. I don't know. I mean, no harm what I'm about to say, guys. Cannot articulate right now what I'm about to say. But this like white Kanye West, he just not who he was. And I know people evolve, and I know people change, and I know people go through things, trauma change you, and you grow up and you learn some things and you change. Change come upon a person. I'm fully aware of that. I pray that we all go through change in life. And if not, it's sad, because you can't go through life remaining the same person. That is pathetic. I'm being honest. That's no growth. So with that being said, I'm fully aware of that, but he went through a drastic change that it seemed as if he's unrecognizable in an unhealthy way, right? So it was told allegedly, and he kind of said it too, that he has some kind of mental health issue. And sometimes we don't know a person have mental health issues because it doesn't come on them, or it doesn't show until later in life. I don't know. I don't know what he's diagnosed with. I just don't know. I just know he's just not the same, and he's unhealthy mentally and emotionally, and been like that for a very long time. Now, back to what I was saying. I know we heard Kanye's side. We heard him express himself in the marriage and outside the marriage. Listening to Kim Kardashian on this I mean, you should check out the full interview if you care to. But listening to Kim Kardashian express herself, finally we get to hear her side of the story. We just never really heard her side of the story. Regardless if we like her, regardless if we like, how she got in the industry, how she got fame, regardless, right? Because none of us is perfect. We all have did some things, have a past of some sort. We finally get to hear her side of the story. And what she was dealing with was a husband who had mental health issues. And I remember one time in another interview, Kim Kardashian stated that Kanye West would have these episodes and that people be ready to disassociate with him, like brand deals and people that's partnering up with him, and she would have to go behind him and clean that up so he could keep the brand deals. Now it's like she's cleaning up his mess while he runs rampant, and also taking care of the kids, and also trying to continue what she's doing as well. She was going through a lot in that marriage. And I'm saying, because I get to hear her side of the story. Not just Kanye West was going through a lot. She was going through a lot as well. Okay, let's play.
So once you left, what was the biggest change that you saw within yourself?
I walked away thinking that I would have, to live a different life. That I would not have a connection to anyone in fashion or art, or that was a big part of his life. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna just go back to a totally different world, and my happiness is worth that, and it's totally okay. And some of my biggest projects came about after I made that decision. And some of my best relationships with fashion and art and all these things that I thought I had to give up, or told I had, wasn't going to have anymore. And it was the universe just rewarding me and showing me that I was moving in the right direction. And I think that's a really important, powerful thing, is to pay attention to the signs and pay attention to life and what happens, and how you can be guided to make really good decisions, but I have no regrets. I have 4 amazing, beautiful babies.
Kim Kardashian thought her being divorced, obviously she was told that she wasn't going to have these brand deals and this type of partnerships that she was having while she was married to Kanye West. She was told that they wasn't going to be there no more. She was also just assuming herself that it wasn't going to be there no more, because y'all already know Kanye West was down with some of the biggest names that I can't even pronunciate in the fashion industry. We don't even know who they are. They big and they on another level behind the scenes, right? But like she said, once she detached from Kanye West, some of her biggest projects came after the divorce. So, once we detach from a person, place, or a thing, that's when we kind of see our growth. We see what we really are capable of. Sometimes a person can be blocking us, holding us back, and they're not even aware of it, and we are not even aware of it. But that thing is standing in our way of success. Okay, I got this last clip I want to play.
How do you think losing your dad impacted your, if at all, your future romantic relationships and who you chose in partners?
I would have thought that I had the best example of a dad. The best everything. He had the best relationship with my mom during their divorce, was super respectful. Afterwards, when, my mom remarried, everything about him was super stand up and respectful. So I saw by example what life can be like and how you should be treated and the type of person you should have in your life. So I think that I have made not similar choices to that, and that's confusing to me, because I had such a great example that you would think that I would have just picked a little bit more close to what I saw. So
yeah, and that's the part that I want to talk about as well. She's saying that it's confusing to her because she has such a great example in her life of a man, which was her father, Rob Kardashian, and her mother and Rob in the relationship together. I remember the Kardashians talking about this, how the dad definitely stood on principles, definitely stood on values. So we already know as a man who is a head of the household, who is a leader, if he leading with principles and values, that is a blessing. That is a great thing because now the foundation is firm and sturdy. Here's the thing. Rob Kardashian, the father, had passed away, and it left Kris Jenner to pick up the pieces and kind of continue raising the kids in the best of her ability, along with providing finances, because Rob Kardashian is no longer there to sustain that lifestyle. And we heard Kris Jenner before in an interview talk about that as well. I want to say this. Her decision making in men was based off of her finances, whether she realized that or not. When her mother, and this is allegedly, and this is going off of what Kanye West and also what Ray J spoke about publicly. So this is allegedly. I have to say that because I wasn't there. But because Kris Jenner allowed that sex tape to go forth and allegedly had Kim Kardashian redo the sex tape over. And I heard from what Ray J said, it was twice that they had to redo the sex tape over so that it can get sold, pushed out to sell for money, for finances, for fame, to get ahead and success. That's how Kris was looking at it. After that, her mindset, meaning Kim Kardashian mindset, was dating men before success for the wrong reasons, to get ahead and for success, which she can gain from it. So that's why her decision making with men was so awful, because she was worrying about success. She was worrying about fame. You understand what I'm saying? And it had nothing to do with her father at this point and all the principles and values that he had installed in that family. When Robert Kardashian passed away, all them girls was led by Kris Jenner, and Kris Jenner led them astray from what was once installed in them. Real quick, if you are new here to the Reawaken Podcast, check out the description box for more information on the Reawaken Podcast. Okay, that's all I have, and I'll see y'all on another video.